Welcome to the RN. Sit back and relax and enjoy the best little sports show ever. I'm your host, Michael Roope, and on the other side of this camera is my co-host, William Rumsey. Hello, William.
Who day?
All right. Well, we are on the eve of one of the bigger days in Bengal Nation in quite some time, other than that Super Bowl, of course, and that unbelievable run. Tomorrow starts the free agency. They can't actually sign until Wednesday, but the negotiations start tomorrow. And man, there is a lot of excitement building up in regards to who the Bengals are going to plug in to be the final pieces to a Super Bowl title. And I can't say enough about the fever pitch. I know William and I have been more than giddy for over the past month and a half about who the Bengals will take.
Yeah. So legal tampering starts tomorrow, which I think is an odd kind of oxymoron that they put out there. But, it gives the agents and players and teams a chance to iron out some things before free agency actually kicks off. I think it's at 4 on Wednesday. You're right. I mean, it's been a month to this day is when the Bengals lost the Super Bowl in the last minute. We haven't done a show since then. I think we've gone into a little bit of, depression since the Bengals lost. So, but now, things are starting to pick back up. We're excited. We know the Bengals, the product they put on the field this year was way better than anybody expected. So there's that key term, expectations are now squarely with the Bengals. So I'm excited to see, everybody hopes that they get these big offensive linemen. Don't know that that's exactly the route the Bengals are. I think they're going to go for more depth than they are star power. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong the last 2 years.
Well, I will tell you, yes, we have, William. I mean, obviously, the biggest myth of, William and I's short tenure with the R&R was the drum we were beating on for the linemen last year and saying we better not take Chase, we better take Sewell. And boy, were we wrong in that. Although Sewell did have a great year after a rough beginning. But so Chase was rough in the preseason. I think both those guys were just rusty from sitting out a year. But boy, the Bengals have hit a absolute grand slam with the Chase pick. But I think the three main needs that everybody's looking at is obviously the big one, offensive line. Mm-hmm. Number 2 is who are we going to get to replace Eli Apple? Opposite of Awuzie, which obviously was another home run the Bengals hit because the signing of Awuzie and Hilton really solidified that defense. And then the third one, I think, would be the tight end. Are they going to re-sign Uzama, or were they going to try to get Gronk? Right before we did this show, right now, we just got, info that one Tom Brady is coming back into the fold for a 23rd season. And that's kind of thrown in some wrenches, I think, in our plans on who we thought the Bengals would take. And I bet it's thrown some wrenches in the Bengals plans, because I think number one priority, at least for me and you, I think, and for most people, was to sign Ryan Jensen, Buck center. But I'm not so sure that's going to happen.
No, I actually, over the last couple of days, they've been saying that Jensen's would be too expensive for the Bengals' taste anyway. I was more hoping for Rob Gronkowski. I know he's long in the tooth, but he's just a championship player. He's been making googly eyes at Joe Burrow for the last month. So I just thought, not that I don't love CJ Uzama, what he brings to the team, leadership, and he had a really good year catching the ball this year. But I think Gronk would have been a step up.
Well, and probably the best blocking tight end
in the game. He would have helped in the red zone, which the Bengals really struggled with. Yep. So, that's more than likely that's out the window. I mean, stranger things have happened,
I will tell you this. I know for a fact Gronk's out the window. That Gronk, he doesn't play for the money. He plays a lot for Tom. He loves Tom. They have a great relationship. I'm not so sure on Jensen. I think there's still a crack because, money talks, and a lot of people play, for the money. Jensen loved playing with Brady, and Brady loved Jensen. But at the end of the day, if you're going to, I know the Bucks are up against the cap. Let's face it. They are very tight. Now they can make some moves, and Brady could do a restructure the contract and get a huge signing bonus and just make that all money
if there's any team that's all in this year, it's probably the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So they're going to pull out all the stops. They don't give a shit about the upcoming cap charges the next 2-3 years. They're all in next year. I mean, because Brady flirting with retirement, it's coming sooner or later. I thought it was a little premature. Him throwing the most touchdown passes this year, having a great team around him. So they're all in, and that. Like you said, I mean, I think wasn't it a couple years ago the Patriots tried to trade Gronk to Detroit, and he said, "No, I won't go there. I'll just retire because I'll only play with Brady." But Gronk.
Yes, I mean, obviously Brady knew that free agency kicks off tomorrow, so he's wanting to keep a lot of the band back. I'll be interested if that lineman that just recently retired that was young, maybe he'll come back now. There were some other people that I don't think performed very well that they won't bring back, being Jason Pierre-Paul. He graded at one of the worst. Ndamukong Suh was one of the worst. I think they're going to cut ties with him, bring some fresh blood. Right. I really think Tampa would have ended up beating the Rams if they had a healthy Wirf, because that would hit you off the edge. The whole dynamic. Again, health is always a wild card, but I think the Bucks, like you said, are loaded. I think they'll probably make a play to bring playoff Lenny back. I think. I think, but again,
I don't know. They might go younger at running back.
They may, but man, I tell you what, Fournette's been looking good.
He has. Before I forget about the three groups that you talked about, we need, there is a concern that we had two guys up the middle on the defense, Ogunjobi and BJ Hill, that are both free agents, and they
will keep one of them. They will end up those guys. Who do you?
They're going to be expensive.
Yeah. Who do you prefer out of those two?
I don't flip a coin. I don't know. I've read all kinds of articles that somebody will say Ogunjobi, somebody will say BJ Hill. I mean, I don't really know, line play as well as you do. So
Joby's the better of the two.
There you go.
But again, it just depends dollars. Because let's just say, let's focus first on the cornerback. Do you think they make a big splash? They've been taking more of the, maybe not the name guys and some second tier, but the three names that I pulled out that I think that they'll make a play for one of them is obviously J.C. Jackson, Gilmore, or Carlton Davis. Those three are really, but Carlton Davis may go back to Tampa, but he's been banged up a lot for most of the year over the past couple of years. An elite corner, but I don't know, who knows that, he was a huge part in their run in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. But again, do you think that they will make a play for one of those three?
I don't. I think the MO for the Bengals has been drafting corner. I mean, I know the last couple of years they've done, Wayne's, but those I don't see them overpaying for a cornerback. I actually see him re-signing Apple and then taking one in probably the first round.
I will be hugely disappointed if they re-sign Apple as their other cornerback.
I think they'll sign him as depth. I mean, I just don't think.
I don't care, but it better be cheap depth, $2-3 million. They better not be in for no $10 million.
Yeah,
if they allocate those resources to Apple, we might be back on here tomorrow with my head blown.
Yeah. I just don't see them signing that. And one, they've got offensive line, what they need to pump some money into. I mean, their offensive line was the bottom 2 or 3 in the league probably. So they're going to pump money into that. JC Jackson is going to get a big contract. Yeah. I've seen him linked up with the Chargers. With Burrow's extension up next year, I know we're going to keep harping on. And I know they still got room for some stars, but paying a guy –
Jackson, because I think again that he's going to go to the Chargers, which leads me the Chargers is going to be a real problem next year with those.
The AFC is a bloodbath. It's going to be a bloodbath. this Brady thing, him coming back and taking a couple of players that I hope the Bengals were getting. But
It's everything.
but here's what I'll say. If they can get, and I know you and I have beaten this, it just seems like we've been talking about the goddamn offensive line for 5 years now, but it's been 2. If they can give Burrow some time to, and I keep saying if he can get to his third read, he's one, if not one of the best quarterbacks in the league already.
So let me ask you this. I think here's how the Bengals should play this tomorrow, because I don't want them to be left holding the bag like they usually are in free agency. And I don't think they will be holding the bag this year. I think people want to genuinely play for the Bengals. They know the tight knit group that the chemistry the whole team had, and playing for Joe is just different. So I think that they make their play strong for Jensen, because I want Jensen. I want Jensen. If you have to overpay, so be it. Hopefully money really drives Jensen, because Tom's making a call right now. Hey,
Sure.
Jensen, I'm back. But hopefully money drives him. And the Bengals don't need to be cheap in this. I think, the center's the biggest part. I mean, everybody talks tackles. The center, they're making the line calls. Jensen plays with an attitude. I like attitude on the line, the nastiness, and he's got it. And he's got the winning pedigree. If we can get
Frank Pollock calls them glass eaters.
Yeah. And it's what he is.
Yeah.
That's what he gets up to the second level all day, every day. So what I would like to do is make a play for him. Now, if they find out there's no way you're getting him, and you'll know soon, because I'm going back with Tom, then you need to divert and then take that next best center, which is, I think, probably, would we say Baltimore's
Bozeman? Yeah.
Now, there was another guy that was a versatile guy that I think is on the Bengals' radar, James Daniels for the Bears. He played guard and center, and I think that would be good for the Bengals, because they're bringing some of these guys that they're drafting from last year and this, and they'll be maturing, and just depending playing, mixing where they best fit. But he may be somebody the Bengals may be interested. What do you think about him?
I bring him in, bring anybody they can afford in on the line.
Well, I will say this, that there's another center that's available.
Isn't it the Rams? Isn't the Rams center available too? I can't remember. Is his last name Hill?
There's a Rams guy. I can't remember his name.
Well, I know Corbett.
I know this is against the Bengals MO, but the Tennessee has a center that's coming available. That very, very high.
Ben Jones.
Ben Jones. Longer though. So I know the Bengals don't typically like to give, but he graded around 11th or really high for a center. So if you miss out, not all is lost, but you're going to have to get one of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think the money needs to go, because that's where the Bengals got burnt up the middle, was Burrow's getting tacked from the middle of the line.
But you're not going to get that much money, because you're going to cut your center that you have now. So, and he's $6 million. So you're not going to lose too much. If you don't get Jensen, which he'll probably, we were talking, I mean, I think people are driving that price tag really high. Now, Tampa won't be, they're going to have a cap. But if you drive it up an extra $2 or $3 million, what does Jensen do? Does he want to play with Tom, or does he want the money?
Right.
What would you do? Gun to the head? Yeah. A lot of people take the money.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, because he's how old is he? 30, 31? I mean, this is probably his last shot at a big contract. Let's just be honest. So,
it's an opportunity to play with this guy. So
exactly.
Really, I mean, to me, they still are in this Jensen thing, but you need to find that out soon. And if not, then you need to pull your resources to hopefully get Bozeman or Jones, one of them two.
Yeah.
Now, the other position, guard, Brandon Scherf, I think it's going to be out of the Bengals price range.
Yep. I think Daniels from Chicago, or the guy from San Francisco, Laken Tomlinson.
They talked really highly about him. Again, using your phrase, a glass eater. He
Mhm.
got up to the second level. He does what the Bengals run scheme is now. So he would be a seamless transition, uh, which if we could get him, I would be even more thrilled than probably Scherf, because Scherf is hurt a lot.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't mind him on top of getting, even if they miss out on Jensen, let's hope not. But I wouldn't mind, a Bozeman Tomlinson combo.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I think the Bengals, the one thing that, the Bengals are hoping is that Jackson Carman will develop into that one guard spot.
I,
Um,
I guarantee they are.
yeah, and then they got a couple other guys they drafted last year, was Dante Smith, and then
Now, what do you think about the tackle spot? Are we going to re-sign Riley Reef? Are we going to dip into the Armstead sweepstakes? Or what I think maybe ratchet it back a little bit, since if we don't get Jensen, we're going to save some money by cutting
this is
Wayne.
this is the problem. Maybe they make a run at that Collins from Dallas, Lyle Collins.
I no, Connor Williams is the one they should.
Well, but Collins is their tackle that they're considering trade. Here's
But
the it bog the problem with the Bengals right now is that they're trying to fill they're trying to upgrade 4 positions when they should have. I mean, whatever.
well,
Should have last year. I guess that's water under the bridge.
I think they want to fill
Three.
because like you said,
Carmen.
Jackson. I think that they want to keep on developing him.
Yeah.
And then you got Una. Now, I think that they will probably draft the guy from, is it Central Michigan?
Bernard Raman. Yeah.
Is he from Central Michigan?
Yeah.
Yeah. They highly of him. I could see them if they get a corner, they could draft him, develop him. But I wouldn't even mind if they take a step back, because if they save the money with cutting their current center, and if they don't miss out on Jens, they're going to be having some extra money. Why not try to sign Trent Brown? That's a free agent for the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't be. I mean, if you give me a Tomlinson, Bozeman, and Trent Brown, I think we're set.
And then bring Reif back for depth.
Yeah, and plus you draft that guard or that tackle from Central Michigan, but you should then have enough money to get like a Stephon Gilmore dude, that guy. He realizes he's longer in the tooth. He wants a chance.
The other problem is there's so many teams out there that need offensive line help. The supply and demand. There is so much demand for offensive line out there. It's insane. So that means the prices, and that just scares it with the Bengals. They've been notoriously, granted, take out the last 2 years, they've pumped money into a lot of free agents, but not the offensive line, because you can see the last with that Tooney contract. What's the guy that signed with San Francisco? Trent Williams. Just these big. They're not wanting to pay those, and they don't pay their offensive line. They let Zeitler go. I mean, they let these guys go because for whatever reason they don't want to pay the market prices or a little bit above market, and it's going to screw them because Burrow can't get hit that many. It's kind of an anomaly that he didn't get another season-ending injury this year.
Yeah, and they realize that, and I think they're going to address it. Just depends. I know the Chargers are going to be a thorn in our side because I feel like they have like 100 million cap room from what I keep reading. That they're in on all these big time guys, so they're going to push up the values on a lot. So
I think that I'll be honest, I think that the difference was last year the Chargers pumped a lot of money in their offensive line. So they were great on offense, but their defense, they didn't pump any money into them. But now they got Khalil Mack, and I've seen them linked to J.C. Jackson. They're going to be a problem, like Kansas City, like a bunch of other teams in the AFC. I mean, it's just not going to be easy. That's why here's their window with Burrow's rookie contract. They all in.
Is there any other tight ends out there besides Gronk? I wanted Dalton Schultz Now the Cowboys were smart and they franchised him because I didn't mind if the Bengals would have got him because I think he's sneaky good.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind Uzama, but I will tell you this: they better not break the Brinks truck for him because he's a dime a dozen.
I mean, what's his market? 8 million a year?
Probably.
Yeah, because I think Zach Ertz just signed for 10 million a year.
I would not sign him for 10.
No.
No. Just there's other people out there available.
We both agree on that.
Yeah, I mean he's nothing special. Now I don't want to go into the freaking season with what's his name?
Drew Sample. No.
No. I think that makes Bengal Nation very flaccid. I'll tell you
very.
Yeah, Drew doesn't excite anyone. But again, tomorrow's the biggest day. I'm excited. I mean, we got Brady coming back. We've got Bengal Nation excited, and that takes the sting off Sonny Gray getting traded.
Oh my God, the Reds are they're lost. They're lost at sea right now.
This is the first of many.
Oh yeah.
I think Castillo's gone. I think but again, the guy that they got back is rated very high. I will say that.
He's 18 years old though.
Yeah, we will see him for about 4 or 5 years. But I'll just say this: I think that they're getting ready to play the long game now.
The Reds have been playing the long game for years.
Yeah, but they keep screwing it up. They need to either go all in on the long game.
Yeah.
All in on trying to win. Now, I think they did go all in on trying to win when they got Bauer. Now, interesting little thought about Bauer real quick. I think he may become available. If he seriously, I don't think the Dodgers want him back. Would you dip into the Trevor Bauer arena?
Only if they think they're one piece away. Why alienate your fans if you're in a rebuild? What's the point? True.
That's true. Well, but who knows? I mean, Gray, I don't know. I mean, he was really good for 2 years, but then he's been injured.
Not to switch gears, but that makes me so all these teams, and it links in with the Bengals, all these teams talking about trading for Deshaun Watson. How good are teams gonna feel, if they win with Deshaun Watson? One, jersey sales for Deshaun. Like, think about parents wanting to buy jerseys for Deshaun Watson. I mean, I would imagine the Bengals make a shit ton of money off Burrow jersey sales. I just can't imagine that a team would make a lot of money off Deshaun Watson jersey sales. And then if they do win the whole thing, him hoisting the trophy, is that going to make teams feel good?
Hey, I will tell you this. I mean, that's a valid point. That's why if you remember, before we even came on, before Tom Brady announced his coming back, I said the Bengals should definitely get Gronk. The jersey sales alone that the Bengals would get for the Gronk jersey sales would pay for his contract.
Agreed.
I mean, a wildly popular character. I know I would have been first in line for one.
For sure.
A lot of people would too. But to your point, fan base, they're a fickle bunch. I mean, they like to win. You bring a championship, I promise you will see his jerseys being worn all over the place.
Well, it's just
that's and that's what the owner was. We had a little R&R bet. What was this, about a year ago? They were just going to cut him. I said, and what did I say?
No way in hell.
No way in hell they will get, and you know what? They're going to end up getting 2 or 3 first round picks because he's going to play, at the most, centerpiece of a football team position next 10, 15 years. They're going to give up a lot of coin for him. Baggage alone, it doesn't matter.
Al Davis, just win, baby.
Yeah. And you had a lot of baggage like Alex Rodriguez. Yankees took him. He had a lot of baggage. They just want to win. People
That's
want to
true.
win.
That's true. So, prediction time. What, we're talking about what we want the Bengals to do. What do you think happens?
I think the Bengals, we're going to come back on here tomorrow, William, because we're going to either be excited, very pissed off. The Bengals better sign at least one person tomorrow. I don't care who it is.
You mean just a rumor, or will they announce them tomorrow?
Yes. You will hear it
Okay.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow. Hey, for all you fans out there, yes, tomorrow, even though Wednesday's the actual signing day, they will agree to terms and we will get the
I couldn't remember. I thought I remembered, but I couldn't remember.
Then you're when the first day, then you'll start getting them peppered. But that will the big terms, those will start being leaked throughout the day tomorrow. So we'll know tomorrow if the Bengals never sign anybody on their first day.
They don't. No.
So they better tomorrow. I want the Bengals to be players, and they should be. Once you cut the center and the cornerback, you have $50 million to play with.
They owe it to us.
Yeah.
They owe it to the fans.
I mean, just think,
your ass in there.
I know you can get at least 3 blue chip players to tie up 30 million of it. So at 10 million per, then you can fill the other 20. And there's probably some other minor drops and ads that we don't know about. But, hey, let's talk about real quick. Do you think Kevin Huber comes back as a punter? Are we going to see our hometown boy, Drew Chrisman?
I think Huber's done.
Yeah. So it might be Drew Chrisman time for all you,
I've seen there's this dude that's been kicking at the combine too. I think his name's Ariza. Everybody's on, and they were like, "Oh, let the Bengals get them." But I think Huber's gone.
I think Drew Chrisman time.
Yeah. The one concern that they had because Huber's such a good holder. I know that sounds crazy, but holding for McPherson. I mean, that's a big part. And apparently, Chrisman. I don't know if he was struggling with it. They just weren't happy with it. I mean,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, but Huber, they say, I can't really remember. They say Huber punted really terribly in the Super Bowl.
Well, I can't remember either, but hey, I got to think we'd be saving some money. Is his contract up?
I have no idea.
Well, cut him, because I'm sure you're going to save money bringing Chrisman in at more of the entry level.
If I knew what our punter was making, I would say that I need to get a life.
Well, I'll tell you right now, he's probably making pretty decent. We'll be saving a few million.
3-4 million. He's probably making 3-4 million.
And we're going to save more money on let's face it.
Get him out of here.
Drew Chrisman will probably make the league minimum or just a little bit more than that. So you're saving a couple million there.
The local boy, the Lawrenceburg boy. Get him in there.
Let's get some linemen here. I'm excited, William. Tomorrow, same time, same place.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Now, I will say this. If they don't sign anybody, I don't know if I want to come on here.
Oh, don't do that. We're coming on here regardless.
Came on last year in the second day when they didn't make any moves the first 2. I went ape shit.
Yeah. I know. That's what I keep thinking back to last year, how you were so excited and just like, we're going to sign these guys. We got to get offensive line. And they didn't do shit with the offensive line.
Hunter Henry. Remember Hunter Henry?
Oh, yeah. But we were off. I'm glad they didn't sign Hunter Henry.
No, me too.
Yeah.
So, but hey, I'm sure there's going to be some more cuts, by the way, too. Just FYI. We haven't seen the rest of the cuts that are going to be made. Right. So
it's going to be an exciting time.
It will be. I'll see you tomorrow, William.
All right, buddy.
See you.